Hello and welcome to Dr. Shiny Tarot. This is a daily pick a card reading for December 19th, Saturday. And I'll go ahead and let you know I have a very, very needy little kitty here, so she is definitely going to be interrupting. Yes. So, this reading is just a daily reading to give you a brief piece of advice or to help guide your overall focus for the day. Now, if you are looking for a longer, more detailed reading, please check out the channel for general readings, monthly readings, and many others. If you are new to pick a card readings, the way this works is that you'll choose one of the three piles here and then scroll down to the description and click on the timestamp for your choice, and it'll skip ahead in the video to your selection. So if you do feel like you want to pick more than one of these, that is certainly okay. You use your intuition, because there is definitely some good advice in each one of these decks, but one of them may be more appropriate for your situation than others. So I also have added 3 crystals to help you select, and today I thought I'd choose all hearts, and so we have rose quartz, amethyst, and labradorite, and little Mistress Cleo is definitely going to help us today. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds of silence so that you can meditate on your choice if you want, or just kind of have some time to clear your mind. And when you have your choices in mind, go ahead and scroll down to the description and click on the timestamp for your reading. So let's go ahead and start the 30 seconds now. Okay, so if you have not already done so, please go ahead and make your choice and scroll down to the description and click on the timestamp for your choice. So, okay, Cleo, come on. So we're going to start with pile number 1, which is the rose quartz. So you have the sun in the reverse, the judgment card, and she's gonna she's stealing the crystal. And the 8 of cups. All right, so I hope that's not too distracting. So the sun in the reverse indicates that you have a little bit of false knowledge. Now, what does that mean? So you kind of feel like you know something, but it's not exactly the way you think it is. So there's a little bit of, there tends to be a feeling of certainty here. The sun is very certain knowledge, very out in the open. So it's like, to you, this is very obvious. You feel like you know exactly what's going on. But you have the potential that you're very mistaken about that. So there's something more here that you haven't considered, something you're not aware of, which has caused you to sort of miscalculate a little bit here. So, and this could be something very small. It could be something huge, right? It's just the kind of defining moment here is figuring out that you may have been a little bit mistaken about something. Now, what challenges you or crosses you is this judgment card. So this is, I feel like, judgment has a lot of meanings, but it can very much mean what it says, which is judgment. So this could be that judgment has been a difficulty for you on this day, right? So you may have misjudged someone. You feel like you knew who they were. You essentially kind of, chalked them up to being a certain kind of way, and they weren't really that way, and you just kind of maybe painted with too broad of a brush when you were generalizing on them or something like that. That's one possibility. Another possibility is that you didn't have very good judgment or that you don't have very good judgment on this day, and that comes out of miscalculating or feeling that you know something that you don't really know. And so, judgment may not be exactly your friend today. You might not show the best judgment, and or other people's judgment might not work out quite much in your favor here. So that's why this is a challenge for you today. So your advice here is really when we get to the meat of what you need to hear. The Eight of Cups here is, it advises you to kind of withdraw a little bit here. So don't be so certain about things today. Kind of step back and just wait to see how things turn out. Withdraw whenever possible. If you're presented with an opportunity to judge someone or to accuse someone of something, it may be best just to hold off on that, at least for today, and to kind of see how the situation works out. To let things unfold a little bit more naturally on their own instead of rushing to conclusions, jumping the gun, that kind of thing. Because that's kind of what I see here, as I see like a little bit of a misstep. So it's very advisable for you to just kind of relax on this a little bit. Think about it. At least give it a day, right? These are daily readings. So this isn't saying that this is what you need to do from now on or for the rest of your life. This is your advice for today. So it's just, I think there's some hardship to be avoided here if you kind of don't feel as though you're really, really apt to jump in without really knowing all the facts or knowing for sure what's happened. And that's about it for that card. That one's, not quite as in-depth, but strangely a little bit more specific than usual. So pretty clear message there, but, not as much of a psychology lesson as it seems to be sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and move on to pile number 2, which is the Amethyst. If you chose the Amethyst here, you have the Ace of Swords in the reverse, the Seven of Cups, and the Page of Coins in the reverse. Okay, so Ace of Swords in the reverse, you're on the verge of figuring something out, having a new idea, or, just being inspired, but it's a little bit delayed. Something's getting in the way just a little bit. Something is preventing that creative inspiration from flowing, and, it's kind of like a mental block a little bit. Now, it's a good thing in that it is the potential for energy. Is there, right? It's not as though no ideas are there or they're not coming. It's just that there's something kind of getting in the way a little bit, and you need to kind of focus on what that is. And what's challenging you here may have some help in that regard, which is Seven of Cups. This is a very, externally seeking type energy. This is sometimes the grass is always greener, that type of a mentality. But in general here, there's these 7 cups all around here, and they're all kind of whispering in this girl's ear, and they're trying to kind of tempt her. And she's trying to make a selection. What does she want, But in reality, none of these options are really good ones. They're all kind of trying to take advantage of her, or they all have some hidden danger associated with them. So when this comes up, it means that you could be distracted by some outward influences, some people who are vying for your attention or trying to get something out of you, and they don't really have your best interest in mind. So it could be that what's causing this sort of creative block is that you're not staying focused enough, and you're kind of being distracted or pulled in several different directions by people who are trying to get your attention, or trying to get your effort in life to be serving them in some way instead of yourself. So by pulling your focus back a little bit, to a steady path for the future and all that kind of thing, you will avoid some of those distractions. And then I think this the spark of inspiration will probably clear itself up a little bit, and you'll have some good results. The advice card for you here is this page of coins in the reverse. Okay, so to me, what I take this is first of all, don't be too quick to spend money or to invest in something that somebody else is pitching you here. So if somebody's trying to get your money, be very, very skeptical today. And again, this is a daily reading, so you don't necessarily have to carry this energy forward with you forever. But on this day, it's going to be a pretty good idea to be skeptical when people come wanting money or wanting you to help them in some sort of an investment or something like that. I didn't say don't do it, right? I did not say that. But what I did say is be skeptical. So pry a little bit deeper instead of just being really open and trusting as you might normally be, or maybe not. But this page of coins, this is, it's a childlike energy. It's not matured. He wants to get involved in some sort of a financial endeavor, but he's not really experienced yet. He hasn't fully calculated all of the variables. And so he has kind of a tendency to make some mistakes, and he's not the wisest with money. So he may have a good idea. He may have, but it may be that he needs to gain a little bit of maturity before he's able to really manifest that idea into reality. And, you could be part of the process of him learning to do that. So if it's something that you really believe in, well, go for it. You may be able to take a calculated risk or a loss if it means helping out somebody who you believe in. On the other hand, if it's not something that you necessarily believe in, don't be taken advantage of here, because it does seem as though there are lots of opportunities coming at you that are not really looking out for your best interests. So be careful with that. And that about does it for card number 2. Well, if I can get it up. There we go. Ugh. Clumsy me. All right. So this is now card number 3. If you chose card number 3, we're going to move on to your reading with this lovely Labradorite heart. This one, it was cut so perfectly. It shines, and I don't know if you can tell but it shines on both sides fully. Okay, well, maybe I'll just throw it. Yeah, it's a extremely beautiful piece here. Okay, so this is for Labradorite. 10 of coins, Knight of Swords, and 3 of coins. But so, okay, they're all in the reverse. So I have a rule, and you may have heard this before, but if in any reading, if all of the cards come up in the reverse, I flip them all upright, because first of all, it tends to make more sense and be more accurate that way, just from my personal experience, and because it's like a little bit more positive of a message that way. It's not as though the meaning is dramatically changed, because it's the same energy, just kind of blocked or hesitated or something like that. But we all have a degree of hesitation in ourselves anyway, so I just like to look at it on the more positive side here. So what you had for the current situation is this 10 of coins, right? So this is seeking prosperity, wealth, and abundance and all that. Now, in that reverse, this could be recognizing that wealth is more than just having a mass of money. This is about having or being able to use that money effectively to like live a prosperous life. So really, to get to this Ten of Coins energy, you have to be considering, what is it about life that really makes it worth living? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? What are you doing that actually makes like a difference, right? And instead of just playing a game basically of how much money can I stack up, or whoever dies with the most toys wins. So you're thinking about this a little bit. You're cognizant of this, and there is some emotional prosperity, some abundance in your life, and it may be that you're kind of trying to figure out, what do I do with that? A lot of people have a hard time with this. A lot of people don't really know the difference between money and wealth. Wealth has nothing to do with money, because you can have everything you ever wanted without having any money, right? It's just a matter of, and you can say, well, no, because I have to have the money to get the things that I want. And, okay, fair point, right? You can get things with money. You can get all kinds of things. But when it comes down to it, it's not the money itself. You can't eat the money, right? So some people get so caught up on that quest for achieving money that they don't ever, stop and figure out, what do I do with it once I have it, So, it's, I've heard, I forget who said it, that the definition of a cynic is a man who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. So be careful with that. But, this energy here, I feel like you're already kind of pondering this dynamic and feeling like, what are you trying to get out of life? So the crossing energy, the influencing, is this King of Swords. And this guy is an intellectual. He's very intelligent. And this could be a problem for you. So it could be that you're having trouble matching this intellect. This is somebody in the outer world, but it could also be just that you have a tendency to overthink, or to let your thoughts run away with you a little bit, and that can lead to like things like anxiety. It doesn't seem like you're really strongly feeling anxiety today, right now, but you might have a propensity for it at other times. But this is a little bit of, a lot of times it's like you run into situations thinking you know how it's going to work out, and maybe it doesn't, right? Because there's a degree of unpredictability in nature and the universe, which is almost sometimes cruel and intentional. But you think you know how things are going to go, and it kind of like turns out a different way. So this could be maybe a little bit of a struggle for you today. But on the other hand, you definitely have this nature that, a sword has two sides, right? So the other side of this is that nature of being intelligent, using your mind effectively to solve problems. And it's probably something that you enjoy doing. So be careful with that, because sometimes if you really enjoy problem solving a lot, well, the universe will oblige and give you lots of problems to solve. So remember that, and it's a little tiny thing that a lot of people don't recognize, but if you are constantly sending out this energy of you're loving to solve problems, sometimes you can get a lot more of that than you bargained for. So, the counter to that, I think, would be wanting or feeling pleasure in a sort of peace and everything being complete and finished. You know what I mean? So what you have for your advice card here is the Three of Coins. This represents a collaborative effort, something that you and perhaps two partners are, because the Three of Coins, a lot of times the artwork has these three people who are going over like the blueprints for a cathedral. They're building a cathedral. So, it tends to have three ideas or 3 people involved. But more generally than that, it's about planning to do something. So in the advice card, I think this is asking or telling you that this is a really good day for planning. This is a really good day for you to kind of come up with some blueprint for the future, what you're going to do, what you want to do with your life, that kind of thing. So, take that 10 of coins energy and really fall into that. Recognize and ask yourself really, really hard, what is going to make you happy, like in the next 10 years or the next 30 years? Where do you see yourself, like when you're laying on your deathbed? What version of you is happy, and what does the external situation look like? And one of the things that you find out is the less that your external situation has a bearing on whether or not you're going to be happy in that moment when you're lying on your deathbed, the easier life seems to be. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and the happier you are. Because happiness is not something that you can achieve solely through the external world or getting things organized in your life a particular way. It's something really that you have to decide on. And I know that doesn't ring true for a lot of people. A lot of people feel like they can't be happy unless the external world and circumstances make them happy. But it's a curious thing that realistically, you're never really happy until you just decide to be happy. And it's really that simple. You just decide, you know what, I want to be happy. I'm going to be happy. And, at first, in my personal experience, at first, there was a great deal of fakery regarding that happiness. But after a little while, you start to feel it and you start to believe it, and you condition yourself. And that conditioning, roots deeper and deeper. And you start to curiously lose the sort of lustful seeking mentality that you had, that you got to get all this, you got to dress a certain way, you got to have all these certain things to make yourself happy. All that kind of like falls away, and it feels a little bit silly, and you're left with this sense of like peace that's really like unshakable, that nothing can really deal with or mess it up. So this is a really good time, wrapping it back up, this is a really good time for you to ponder what you're going to do with your life, what's going to make you happy, and how are you going to, proceed. So that is about it for today's daily reading. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave me comments, like, and subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow for your next daily reading. Thanks for watching.